We have 5 incredible speakers today. We have 5 absolutely amazing speakers that are going to share great things with you. When they are speaking, what I'm going to invite you to do is click speaker view on the top right corner and then double click the face of the person that is speaking. That will make their image nice and large. So everyone, you can go ahead and do that so that you can get everyone, that you can see who is speaking. And really, this is all about having a connection here. So first and foremost, I'd love to see in the comments who here is full of gratitude and positivity today. Pop that into the comments if that is you. If you are full of positivity and gratitude, pop that into the comments. And then most importantly, if you believe that it's important to have a positive attitude in life, especially right now, then please put that into the comments there. All right. I'm seeing everyone there. And let's do this. I would like to hear, we're going to get this now broadcast also on Facebook. Don't worry, when we are going live, when the person who is speaking, their face will be the large face on the broadcast. You won't even be showing up there, at least when they are speaking. And so we want to have this so that people can look at you. You know, the speakers who are speaking are going to have a much better time speaking when they can see your faces. You know, right now I think we need as much human connection as we can get. And so that's really the reason why I'm doing this with you guys here rather than following from someone else, so that so the speakers can see you, so that when, you know, there's something about speaking, when you're speaking on stage and you can see somebody's face and you can see their head nodding like they get it, like they feel it. Then all of a sudden you feel like, okay, they get it. They understand what's going on. We're connecting. And I think right now we need all the connection we can get. So let's do this. I would like to, as I'm going to go and put this over there, I'd like to hear one more person sharing something they are grateful for today. It would be a volunteer to share something they are grateful for. All right, Ben.
Hello. I'm grateful for your invitation today on your group to make connections on LinkedIn. It was a meaningful time for me. I was pretty lonely today. So making those connections and having people reach out was awesome.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, I am very glad to hear that. Thank you so much. Thank you. And let's get one more, because I'm not done yet doing this. So I need one more. Let's get one more person. How about let's hear from Trina Sett.
You know, he said that because I talk a lot and it'll give him plenty of time to finish doing whatever
You know me. There you go.
I'm so grateful for so many things, but I'm really grateful for this opportunity to be here and listen and learn and connect. I do a lot of Facebook Lives and I interview a lot of people, and I've noticed in the last couple weeks, like, this has become the highlight of my day. Like, I love talking to people, and I almost feel like we're in the same room, and that's kind of how it feels to me. It's almost like going to a live event. I think I've just moved. Live events are my favorite. I love meeting in person, and because that's unavailable, I think I just transferred all of that love I have from live events to these Zoom calls, to being able to meet. And thank God for Facebook and social media and Zoom. Imagine if all of this was happening and we didn't have this technology.
Totally.
Crazy, right?
Yes, it'd be absolutely crazy. So thank you so much for sharing that. Really appreciate you sharing that and also filling some time for me. So thank you very much. And so as we get going right now, what you're going to do is you're going to click, like I said, click the speaker view in the top right corner of your screen. And our first speaker is Monica W. She's going to be amazing. I'm so excited to hear from her. And so Monica, take it away. Let's hear your message of positivity, inspiration, and hope.
Hi, first of all, thank you so much for having me. This is an amazing platform. I mean, you have been the epitome of positivity and hope through all this. So I can for sure speak for myself and say thank you for showing up for all of us that way, because it's really what we need now. And, you know you talk a lot about keeping your mind a fortress, and that actually has been sitting with me a lot, like trying to get there. And my message that I have for my clients, for, myself really, is that hope is absolutely the most important thing that we need right now and that we can cling to. At the same time, we also have to acknowledge what's going on in the world and, you know, face what's going on and face our feelings. So I always say that in order to get to the hope and the positivity, it's really important that we first acknowledge where we are, acknowledge the stress that's coming up, acknowledge the anxiety that's coming, acknowledge whatever it is that's coming up, label it, sit with it, like be with it so that you can get to the hope and positivity. It's not about wallowing in it. So like people think that we have to go straight to the positivity and we have to keep, you know, things upbeat and it is what it is. That's not what like hope and positivity is for me, for sure. And I know a lot of people feel the same way. It's really about sitting with your feelings so that you can eventually move to the place of hope, because our worlds have been shaken up right now, you know? And in order, what I found very helpful as far as getting to the place of hope and positivity and feeling inspired is I have to learn to cut down on my social media intake, cut down on my news intake, because that's, you know, overwhelming and overbearing. And, you know, what I also had to learn was that the only place that I was really going to find true hope and true inspiration is within myself. Like I have to be the source of hope that I'm looking for. I have to get there and find ways to be hopeful and to be positive on my own, because there's so much going on externally that's not hopeful and not positive. And one little thing that I did, and you know, Jake, you know this, that I wrote a letter to myself from myself, but I wrote it like from future me to present me now. And it was a letter full of hope and, you know, just reminding me that I'm going to get through this. And even though I don't know how we're going to all get through this, and I don't know what the world exactly is going to look like, the letter was full of, you know, strength, and that the world is going to come out of this a new world. Yes. A lot of changes are going to happen. Yes. There's also going to be positivity to be found. There's going to be a lot of different ideas that I'm sure are going to come up in this world now that are going to change the way we view the world. Connection is going to change in a huge, drastic way. I do also very much believe and feel that this is all happening for us, even though it's so painful and there's a big price that we're paying. We do have to be shaken up. Like there's a lot of unconsciousness that has been going on. And I see so many people, even who are struggling, are really going through this waking up process from becoming unconscious to becoming conscious. And that is what I've been holding on to, you know, that hope that when this is over, and it will be over, the world is not ending. We're not in that space of this is it forever. What I've been holding on to is that we're going to have a new world, a world that's full of more connection, deeper connection. A lot of people realize now what's important, things that we and me, myself included, took for granted beforehand, like our health and our family. And, you know, like there's a lot of things that are shaken up, but how many people here have heard so many stories that now you're just like, thank God me and my family are healthy and okay. There's so many stories that are coming up to remind you that you might not have everything that you want right now, but you and your family are good, then you're good. Like I feel that gratitude like daily, and I'm having conversations with people who are having the same exact feelings of pure gratitude for something that we did take for granted beforehand, you know, whether it's our health, having a home to live in, having just basic necessities, you know. And the letter that I wrote to myself, you know, the future me letter that I wrote to present me, was all about hanging in there and just allowing things to settle inside of you and allow yourself to be and allow yourself to have the hope, because you're going to come out stronger. You're going to come out better. You're going to come out braver, and you're going to wake up, and the whole world is going to wake up. And it's imperative. We really needed that. We, you know, very much so. And, you know, that letter really did help me. It helped me get to a place of hope and strength. And I still go up and down just like everybody else does, because like I said, it's also so important to acknowledge your feelings, to realize that it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel down. It's okay to feel whatever you're feeling so that you can move through it. It's not about wallowing in it. And then something that I really found to be very helpful for me, a message that has been coming up, is that if I look at my life, and I'm sure many of you, if you look at your life, anytime that you've really grown, anytime that you've really created major change in your life, it's been from a time where you were shaken up. It's not from a time when you tried to control the crisis. It's not from a time when you tried to have everything perfect. It's a time when you had to let go and let everything fall apart so that you can come together, so that you can rebuild. And I do really feel, and I do really believe that there's going to be a lot of rebuilding individually and collectively as well. Like, we do maybe have to fall apart so that we can rebuild, so that we can come out stronger. I mean, literally any time in my life when I look back and I had any major growth, it was because everything fell apart. Yeah. So letting it fall apart is okay, because this way you're going to be able to rebuild. And anything that you've had till now, like, I have a treasure chest full of tools that I've been learning for years, and they're very great and they're very helpful, but nothing has prepared me for this in my life. I think any coach or any speaker or anybody with a message or any healer can relate to that, that there is nothing that could have prepared you for this. So now it's about rebuilding and finding new ways to use your tools and finding new ways to spread your message and finding new ways for connection. Because in my experience with my clients, with my social media, with everything, the one thing I'm seeing is we are all overloaded on information. But what we're missing is real connection. That's connection to others, but like in a true sense, not someone just trying to sell you something, but like true connection, right? And then connection to self and connection to, yeah, our higher power, the universe, whatever it is that you believe in. And that's part of, learning to just be, learning to accept things as they are, and yeah, letting everything fall apart so that we can rebuild, and we will rebuild. Individually and collectively, we will come together. And I do believe that, yes, there's going to be a lot of unfortunate sadness, but there's also going to be a tremendous amount of growth and coming together, and also realizing that we're all connected. It doesn't, like, this showed us more that nobody and everybody is the same. Like, nobody's different, nobody's better. Like, we're all the same, right? Because this can affect every single person. Doesn't matter how rich you are, doesn't matter what religion you are, doesn't matter what race you are. You're human, you're affected by this. And that's what I believe the message that we're going to feel and see after this more than ever. So that's my message. That's how I like to show up in this world, how I'm working on also showing up in this world. And even as a coach who has all these tools, like, it's okay to feel, it's okay to, fall apart, and just remember, though, like, see the light at the end of the tunnel. So that's my message. And thank you for letting me share that.
Thank you so much, Monica. Everyone, let's give her a virtual round of applause. Yeah, what a wonderful message. Thank you so much, Monica. Tell everyone, Monica, how can they get in touch with you? What's the best way to get connected with you?
So I'm pretty much on Facebook and on and on Instagram. I am on Instagram. My name is empowering_coaching. And on Facebook, I'm Monica. You can search up. I mean, I think Jake, you tagged me in the original post, but I mean, it's Monica Werczberger on Facebook. But I do go by Monica W, because Werczberger is like a lot. So you can find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook group called Facing Codependency, so you can find me there too. It's a lot of stuff already. So, Instagram is really where I shine. That's where I find, like, what I prefer Instagram, but I do post on all platforms.
Perfect. So, put those links in the comments so that people who want to follow you can get connected with you. Thank you so much for your message. I truly appreciate you. And one thing I want to say is, Monica is so positive in this situation, and she's right in the heart of it. She's in Brooklyn, out there, it's a lot of us have it a lot better than they're having it out there. And I can just say, if she can have this positive attitude right now, then all of us can. So one more time, virtual round of applause. All right. Thank you so much, Monica. I appreciate it. Now our next speaker. You are welcome, Monica. Our next speaker is the host of the Next Level Life podcast, a dear friend of mine, an incredible speaker and coach. Let's give a wonderful focus on the good round of applause to Preston Pugmire.
Hello. Jake, are you able to hear me?
I
Everything
am.
good?
Everyone, click speaker view on the top right and then double click Preston's face.
Click my face. Okay, let's do this, man. Thank you so much, Jake. This is so exciting. I'm I'm into this. Like, I'm so into this because there's so much going on as far as coaching and training and everything like that. And so I just want you to know that this is next level, like the things that Jake puts together. And I love what Monica said there. But this is how I want everybody to start. There's, a couple people, there's 22, 23 people here, and then everybody listening on Facebook land and stuff like that. Everybody, right now, go ahead and just take a big breath in. It's too easy. It's too easy to think that you need more, coaching, that you need more podcasts, that you need more YouTube videos. If you have upped your consumption rate in the last 2 weeks, put a me in the chat. Be like, yep, I've done that. I've done more YouTube videos, more podcasts, more courses, more everything like that. If that's something that you have done in the last 2 weeks, then put me in there. Yeah. It's too easy sometimes to think that you need the more, that you need the next thing that's going to get you to where you're at. Now, I'm not saying don't seek out assistance, don't seek out experts. I'm not saying that. What I am saying right now, my message today is 2 parts. Number 1, let go. Number 2, you know more than you think you do. Okay? So let's do this. Number 1, let go. Right now, I want you to think about all the things that you have learned and consumed and bought and like just accumulated over the last little bit, whether it's physical, emotional, or digital. Okay? And I want you to ask yourself this question. What do I deserve to let go of? What if it's not about me getting more? What if it's about me stripping away that which does not serve you? So right now, everybody, take a big breath in, and I'm going to challenge you to close your eyes. Unless you're driving. Close your eyes and just ask yourself this question and get real with yourself. Get honest. What do I need to let go of? Is it a website that I keep going to, like a news website? Do I just keep checking it, refreshing it over and over again? Do I need to take that off of my plate? Do I need to take that off of my consumption? Is it an app that you spend too much time on? I personally deleted the news app from my phone because it wasn't serving me. It doesn't mean you have to. Are there games that you play too often on your phone that are distractions and avoidances? Is there a belief that you deserve to let go of? Maybe clothes. If you haven't worn it in a year and a half, you probably don't need it anymore. Things in your garage. People that you follow on Instagram. Is there a box of junk? Is there a junk drawer that you can get rid of stuff in there? Is there a relationship that you deserve to let go of? What is it? Maybe it's a couple things. I know that your true core self that experiences peace, abundance, and joy, that version of you doesn't need more. That version of you needs alignment. Alignment. And how do you align? Most often, it's by stripping yourself of what no longer serves you. Upgrading your ideas, upgrading your mentality, upgrading your identity. Monica talked about the future version of yourself, writing a letter from the future version to the current version. That future version of yourself, what are they doing, thinking, and feeling? But more importantly, what are they not doing, not thinking, and not feeling? Okay? And the way to time travel is to align yourself with that version by letting go. So right now, I want you to just make a commitment to yourself that you're going to take action on at least one of those things that you need to let go of. Okay? At least one, because there's a couple. Let go. The second part of my message is you know more than you think you do. I'm going to illustrate it like this. This is an XY axis here. Right here we have time. And we have, this is skill. Your skills are the things that you learn, the time, it's how long it takes you to do that. The first time that you learn something, when it's an introductory concept, this is a box of skill and a box of knowledge. I'm going to put down an N for new. You guys can put this in your notes. N for new. It's something that I've learned. It's new and it's exciting. And it's like, oh my gosh, maybe I struggle with it a little bit. And it's like, new. And then after a while, you practice that new thing enough, or you simply know it long enough, and all of a sudden, it's not new anymore. And then it becomes obvious. O for obvious. But you learn a new skill. And so you put a new block on top of that, and that becomes your new skill. And then after a while, the thing that was obvious, after maybe a year or two, now it's not even obvious anymore. It simply just is. It becomes background noise. Background noise. And the thing that was new becomes obvious, and then you learn a new skill. So the new skills, you keep learning new skills. You keep learning new skills, but the things that were new then become obvious, then become background noise. One of the best examples of this is driving. When you guys started driving, and if you learned like how to drive a stick shift, then you don't remember. If you've been doing it for 20 years, then you don't remember what it was like to not know how to do that. If you took a 14-year-old or a 15-year-old kid who had never driven a car before, and you said, okay, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go in and just, engage the clutch and then put it into reverse and check your mirrors and then let's go, right? What is that kid he's going to be like, what's a clutch? Okay, you're like, oh shoot, I forgot that there was a point in my life where I didn't even know what a clutch was. So what in your life, what in your business, what in your message, what in your just being a leader right now, what are you discounting because you assume that it's just background noise or obvious, and you forget that maybe even a couple of years ago it was brand new to you and it was mind-blowing. There are always, 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 always new people coming into the awareness of what you learned a long time ago. There's always newbies. When you learned the things that you currently know, when you learned that, there was already somebody who had been doing that for 20 years. And that cycle repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats. You got to freaking give yourself some credit. Don't assume that everybody knows what you know, and don't assume that you don't have anything to offer because somebody else knows more than you. There's always somebody on the continuum of newbie and then intermediate and then veteran, right? So those are my two messages. Let go. What do you need to let go of? And then you know more than you think you do. Breathe, accept it, step into it, and right now, freaking be the leader. Be the expert. Let go of the things that don't serve you and step into your power. Be that expert because you already are to somebody. accept it. Take it to the next level, man. That's what I got for you. You guys are great.
Preston, let's hear for Preston. Virtual round of applause. All right, all right. Preston, thank you so much. That was really, really incredible. I think that was something that every single one of us needed. And if you appreciated Preston's message, pop that into the comments, show him some love. And Preston, what is the best way for people to get connected with you?
Instagram. It is Preston.Pugmire.
Great.
Preston.Pugmire. Pugmire. Also, my podcast, Next Level Life. You mentioned it. Listen to that, but whatever. Preston.Pugmire on Instagram. That's it.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, before we go into our next speaker, first of all, I want to say thank you to Preston. Thank you for Monica. But I also want to say thank you for each of you for showing up today. Thank you so much for showing up, because I got to say, me being an extrovert, I like seeing people. I like seeing people. And I also like positivity. And I can tell you right now that more than ever, the world needs positivity. More than ever, we need positivity. That's what we need. And that's what this is about. This is about spreading positivity. And the way that I like thinking about it is this is about spreading a light in a world that a lot of people see as very dark right now. You get to be a beacon of light. That's what you are right now. You're a beacon of light, spreading the light all over the place. And that is what we are doing. So thank you so much for being here and being a part of this journey. So our next speaker is another dear friend of mine, Jocelyn Kuhn. I'm so glad that she is here with us today. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Share some love for Jocelyn in the comments. Let's give her a round of applause as she comes on up here. Here we go. All right, Jocelyn, you can take it away. I'm excited to hear your message.
All right. Thank you, Jake. I really got so much out of Preston's message. So thank you, Preston. That was much needed. And one of the things that I wanted to come on and talk about today is gratitude and the role gratitude plays in our life, especially during hard times. But I do think one of the things that is just resonating for me is that letting go piece. And I want to know how many of you guys are actually listening to yourself. Like, you're taking in all of this information and now you're listening to yourself, you're trusting yourself. Of course, my dog has to bark right when I get on here. He hasn't barked once this whole time. So how many of you are listening to yourself and saying, do I know this to be true, or do I not feel like this is true for me? And what are you doing with that information? I think that a lot of times, even before this happened, if you're in the self-help space, you can get like 30 different opinions on what you should be doing with your business, with your life, with your parenting, everything under the sun. There's going to be different opinions. And the reason for that is that different things work well for different people. And a lot of the time, the more that we are listening to the advice of everybody else, I think the less sometimes we listen to our own advice and we go inside and seek those answers. And one of the things that I've been really trying to make a lot of time for right now is meditation, because it's such a good tool to use to go inside and ask myself, is this real for me? You know, even though there's like mass hysteria in the world right now and it's a pandemic and there's so much going on that we could focus on that's negative, what's true right now in my house for me is that my kids are in their room laughing together, and my husband and I have been playing games, and we are going on more walks and getting outside in that capacity more. So if I focus on what's true on the news, a lot of the time I'm going to feel anxiety, I'm going to feel depressed, I'm going to feel overwhelmed. But focusing on what's right in front of me in my home right now today, there's so much to be grateful for. And so that's kind of the message that I wanted to share with you, is some practical ways to increase your gratitude. I have a list of 10 things, and I just got done doing a gratitude challenge. And the 10 things that I wanted to share with you, hopefully maybe my hope is that one of these will resonate with you. But again, listen to yourself and feel what's right for you. Number one is to keep a gratitude journal. Get up every single day, and write down 10 things that you're grateful for and why, and how you feel about those things. That's one of the most life transforming practices I think that anyone can put into their life, is writing down things that they're grateful for. Another thing that you can do that I did recently is write a thank you letter. And this was a really cool exercise that came out of the challenge that we just did. My sister-in-law, who I haven't always been, like, we're close, but we're not super close. It was really cool to get to write her a letter of appreciation for being a nurse and somebody that's working with COVID-19 patients at her hospital, and appreciating that about her. So write a thank you letter to somebody that you love or appreciate, or even somebody that you've had a hard relationship with. This is a great time to mend fences and let go of things. Kind of another lesson from Preston: let go of resentments, let go of pain, let go of relationships that maybe have been challenging for you in the past, and look at the positives that have come out of those relationships. Another one is taking an inventory of all the things in your life that you have to be grateful for, and writing a list that's just continuous and ongoing. One of my favorite things to do is go on a gratitude walk and just look for things to be grateful for in nature. And it could just be, this morning I went on a walk and there was this cute elderly couple, and they were walking on the same side of the street as me, so I dodged over and went the other way, but we exchanged hellos. And he was pushing his wife in a wheelchair, and it was just beautiful. Like, you could just see the love in their relationship. Sorry, my family decides to be really loud the second that this happens. One of the things, I love craft projects. So in the past year, I have been so busy and so constantly thinking about strategy and all of the different things with business that I've had going on, that I haven't had much time to be doing crafts. So one of the things that I just pulled out some wood so that I could make a gratitude sign, just a reminder to be grateful. And then another one is your life through the eyes of a stranger. I think that this is a really cool one, because a lot of times we compare ourselves to people that we see who are 5 steps ahead of us. And if you were just looking at your life or your impact through the eyes of a stranger that you've never met, that you aren't putting on a pedestal up here somewhere, I think that you could see your gifts and your talents and your the blessing that you are to the world in a different light. So I think that can be a really powerful exercise, is like writing it out. Like, if I were having to introduce myself to a stranger and I really wanted to sell them on my best life, what would that look like? And then one of the things that I think is really powerful is ending your day with a set of questions that you can ask yourself. And I try to, when I'm focused and in the zone and in flow, I try to end my day with the question of who or what inspired me today, what touched me today, what made me smile today, and then finally, what was the very best thing that happened. So it's priming you right before you go to sleep to be looking for the good again. And then I think Monica alluded to this earlier, but turning a negative into a positive. So finding all of the seeds of good that have come out of a seemingly negative situation, because like she mentioned, all of the growth in my life has come from times that have been rather painful and hard, and you get to the other side of that and you become a different person. You become a stronger person, a more compassionate person, someone who loves people more deeply. And we wouldn't have heroes if it wasn't for seeing them go through difficult circumstances that show us what a hero looks like. So, I love the hero's journey and exploring all of the facets of turning negative situations into positive learning experiences. Another thing that you could do is maybe as a family create a gratitude jar, or find some branches and you could hang tags off of branches with things that you could be grateful for in your home. And then finally, I think meditation and prayer are two of the ways that you can really tap into the fact that we are part of this bigger, greater good and whole. And just start with being thankful there. So, that is what I have to share with you today. And I appreciate you, Jake, so much for putting this together. You're incredible, and we're all blessed to know you.
Well, let's hear it for Jocelyn. All right, let me get everyone on the screen now so we can see the round of applause. All right. Right now, Jocelyn, this is what you have to think. You have to think that right now, this is as close as we get to a standing ovation in front of a live crowd right now. So there you go. Round of applause one more time.
Well, you asked me because it was you. I instantly said yes, and then I went, "Oh man, why did I say yes?" But I'm super glad to be here and do this. So
I'm so glad that you did. I'm so glad that you're here. And if you appreciated Jocelyn's message, please pop a comment into the comment box. I know that I sure did. And Jocelyn, I just want to acknowledge you for a second for all of the good that you do. You are always behind the scenes helping other people. That's kind of what you do. That's kind of your style, is you are behind the scenes helping people all the time. So I'm putting you in front of the scene and saying thank you very much for all the good that you do, and lots of people appreciate you for that. So thank you so much, Jocelyn. Okay, well, we're going to hear from our next speaker now. Steve Garvin is going to share his message with us, and let's see a big round of applause as Steve comes on. Real quick, I just want to ask you, are you guys enjoying this? Are you guys enjoying this kind of positive message? Yeah, let me know in the comments if you are enjoying it. And also on top of that, I'm just going to ask you, this is something that we're going to do every single week. There's really no motives behind this other than spreading a positive message every single week. We're going to be doing this every single week. So please tell your friends, tell other people. I want to create a ripple effect of positivity. Like Jocelyn mentioned, there's a lot of negativity. When I say negativity, I'm not talking about the really tragic things that are happening. That's not what I'm talking about. But what I am talking about is we as humans have a tendency to take a lack of information, or whenever we don't know the whole story, or whenever we don't know things, which right now we don't know everything, and then we fill it in with all the worst case scenarios. And that tends to be what a lot of the news is. A lot of just over and over and over again. And this is a place of good news. This is a place of good news where people are sharing inspiration. So if you are enjoying this, please tell your friends, share focusonthegood.com so they can register for next week. So thank you so much for that. Let's hear it for Steve Garvin. Big round of applause.
Hey, everybody. This is Steve Garvin, and I am coming to you live from Tacoma, Washington. And I don't know about you, but living here in Tacoma, which is just 30 miles south of Seattle, and we are actually on the forefront of this COVID-19 stuff happening. The deaths that started to roll in at a nursing home just a little bit north of where I am. And I remember just a couple of weeks ago when things started to shut down. First of all, I'm actually not sure which order of events that happened, but the places that were starting to shut down, first of all, we heard from church that there was not going to be any church on Sunday. And not just that Sunday, but the following Sundays for who knows how long. Then we heard about school. And so my daughter, who is in middle school, has been home now for several weeks. And then the one that killed me, and this will be a little bit telling about who I am, they closed down the libraries. And I am someone who loves books. And not only do I love books, I love going down to the library that's just a few blocks away from where I live. And there's this great old building It's actually, you can see Dale Carnegie's name on it because it was one of the original libraries that Dale invested in. Andrew Carnegie, sorry, Andrew Carnegie. Dale Carnegie is a different guy. So he used all his wealth in order to create these libraries. So we're hearing all this stuff, right? And we're hearing about one thing closing down, another thing closing down, and it continues to happen and roll out. And pretty soon, it's not just where we are, but also across the world. And it felt a little bit like, if you can imagine, standing on the set of J.K. Rowling's Fantastic Beasts and seeing these monsters, these dragons and so forth, coming to us and frightening us and threatening where we're at. And it brings to mind a quote by Neil Gaiman, who said, "Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten." So what are the dragons that we are facing? Some of the dragons we are facing are the illness that comes from the COVID-19 pandemic that's happening. Another one is the uncertainty. Who knows what's going to happen in the next couple of months? Who knows when we're going to go back to school? Who knows when the libraries are going to start opening up? Who knows when we're going to be able to meet together in a live event and actually shake hands with people without worrying about catching something that can threaten our lives? Another dragon is illness. The fear of what could happen. And one of the dragons that I have fought over the last, well, honestly, since I was at least a teenager, has been severe depression. Some very, very dark days. And it just, as others have shared earlier, one of the things that is really powerful and beautiful about the destructive forces. So normally we wouldn't think of depression and struggles like that as being a positive thing because they're honestly really dark. But to this day, I am very, very grateful for the incredible struggles, and for me, it was actually life-threatening, the level of depression that I was in, because I was in a place, in a very dark place, and I did a quote that I heard was that when it is darkest outside is when you can see the stars the brightest. When you can't see anything else, you can see the things that are really important. You can see the people in your life that are really important. You can see the things in yourself that are really important. You can see the things that you can do that bring a little bit of joy, a little bit of happiness into your life. And by focusing on that light, by walking just a step closer to that light continually, then that light grows brighter. So right now, it might be difficult to see the light at the proverbial end of the tunnel, but I promise you that the light is there. And the light is bright. And that if we continue to move in that direction, that light will fill our lives. And that we can bring that light into not only our own lives, but into the lives of the people whose lives we touch through the work that we are doing. That when we share ourselves, when we share our stories, when we share our experiences in walking through the light, that we get walking through the darkness, that we give hope to people that there is light on the other end of the tunnel. I just finished reading, I told you I love books, The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. And one of the scenes that happens in this book is Bilbo Baggins and his companions, the dwarves, have reached Lake Town, which is a town on the lake, kind of obviously named, and one of the characters that they meet in there is a guy named Bard. And Bard has got a troubling story, especially played out in the movie. in that he is the son of the guy who did not take down Smog, the dragon that caused the dwarves to lose their home, that brought terror for generations in to their community. So we had to live down that legacy, that past story. And so when Smog, the dragon, comes flying over Lake Town, Bard takes it upon himself to be the one to bring that dragon down. And he pulls an arrow out of his quiver. And one of the things that I want you to think about with regards to arrows in your quiver is the powerful stories in your life that give you hope, that give you strength to face the difficult times. I am actually in the process of collecting stories from coaches, authors, speakers, etc. right now and compiling it into a book. And I'm touched by the stories that everybody has and the variety, the diversity of stories that people pull on, draw from, as if an arrow from their quiver, in order to slay the dragons in their own lives, in order to tame those dragons, and in order to move forward with the work that they are doing. So Bard draws the arrow, his bow, shoots at Smog the dragon, and misses. We oftentimes, when we're fighting dragons in our own lives, we don't hit and we don't slay the dragon immediately. We don't find resolution immediately. But if we continue to live into our story, into who we have the possibility of being, into that future self that Monica spoke about and others have spoken about, that when we live into that person of possibility, then that possibility moves closer to us. And we become more powerful in being able to slay the dragons in our own lives. So finally, Bard draws one last time, and the dramatic music is playing, and we're feeling, how's he gonna make it? And he sees a little chink in Smog's armor, sees a hole, an opportunity, and he pulls back and lets the arrow go. He faces his dragon. He names his dragon. He knows what he's trying to do. He lets that arrow go, and it hits its spot. And Smog the dragon is defeated. You can defeat the dragons in your own life. You can conquer and bring about the possibilities that you envision for yourself and for the people that you serve. Thank you.
That was truly amazing, Steve. Thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause for Steve. Thank you so much. Everyone, if you can come onto the screen, give him a round of applause. That'd be great. And Steve, I want to acknowledge you and say thank you so much for your authenticity as you shared that message. I think sometimes people are afraid to share maybe some of the backsides of things going on, and sometimes people are afraid to share the darkness. But I think that we need to see the darkness. We need the darkness shared in order to be able to see how bright it really is. And I acknowledge you for sharing that. And also, I am always a nerd for Tolkien. So thank you for sharing that. That was great. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. How can people get connected with you, Steve, if they want to get more inspiration from you?
So the best place to join me is actually in my Facebook group, which is The Art of Entrepreneurship. I am on Facebook regularly, and that's actually my community of heart-centered entrepreneurs that, we've got a great community in there. It's very loving, and anyway, I totally appreciate the people that are there. And I just
Wonderful.
Put that in the comments.
Well, yeah, put that in the comments. So if you are a heart-centered entrepreneur, then come and join. Right there, you put the name of it. If you can also go copy a link from Facebook and pop that in there, that'd be really great. Go ahead and share that. Thank you so much. We've had wonderful speakers so far, wonderful messages. Now we are going to hear from Mr. Geoff McLachlan. And just that beard makes him a star. So we're excited to hear that and to hear that. What does hearing a beard sound like? I don't know, but we're excited to hear from Jeff, and you can take it away. Here you go, Jeff. Even though it says Monica, you're not Monica, you are Jeff. I think what it is remember you couldn't find the link.
The link.
And then Monica shared her link. And then I guess the link is attached to a name. And now you are Monica. So Monica with a beard, take it away.
Awesome. And first of all, thank you, Monica, for helping me out with that. I appreciate that. And to everybody out there, Monica is much prettier than I am. Obviously, you all saw that. So, I'm Geoff McLachlan, Professionals at Play, and I've absolutely adored the things that you guys have said today so far. It's been amazing. I love it. Just the amazing insight and value that we bring to the community is always incredible. I'm actually here in my treehouse right now because honestly, I can't do this in my house because it's a small house. My kids are running around like banshees right now. So I thought I'd bring it home today with a quick little story for you. See, I travel all over the country and talk to students. I talk to businesses, organizations, and it's all about taking care of each other, believing in each other, and making the world a better place. And a number of years ago, I went to a school in Northern California, and I remember them giving me a message saying, this is the first time we've ever done something like this, and we're gonna go out on a limb and try this whole leadership stuff. And so I said, okay, cool, let's just do it. And I had 3 days with freshmen, and I loved it because it was challenging, and I also dreaded it because they'd never done anything with leadership before. Now, I remember the first day showing up, getting ready, and it was obvious that they had not had a lot of leadership training. And they were tough days. They were hard days. And out of all these freshmen that I worked with, there was this one kid that stood out above everybody else, mostly because he was a little bit taller, a little bit bigger than everyone. And his name was Tim, but nobody referred to him as such. Everybody called him DJ Cornbread. That was just his nickname, DJ Cornbread. I don't know why. And he was literally just taller, bigger than everybody else. He was a big freshman kid. And I noticed that every time he would go and interact with people, that the people around him would start to smile and laugh. And he had this powerful influence wherever he went. And he didn't hang out with just one group. He interacted with all the groups, which was really cool. And I thought, that kid's a natural leader. Well, I remember leaving, not thinking I'm ever going to come back to the school. And I get a call to come back the next year. And I'm walking on campus for the first day of the event. And who comes up to me but DJ Cornbread? He runs up to me and he's like, Sasquatch. They call me Sasquatch because I'm furry. And I love it because I'm like, dude, DJ Cornbread. And he's like, how did you remember my name? I'm like, dude, you're the only DJ Cornbread I know. You're pretty memorable, right? And so he goes, dude, can I be a part of the days again? And I said, I'm sorry, unfortunately you can't because you're a sophomore and we only work with a freshman and you have to be a junior or senior to be a leader. And he was really bummed. And he was like, but I really, really want to. It was like amazing. It was an incredible group of people. I had so much fun. It was inspiring. I want to do something. And I finally said, okay, your nickname is DJ Cornbread. Can you play music for me? And he's like, yes. And I found out why, because DJ Cornbread actually could play music and he had all the songs. He actually had his own little mixes that he did that were awesome and everybody loved him. Every time he played music, people danced and had fun. And I was like, this is awesome. Get done with the days, come back to the same school again the following year. He's a leader as a junior. Again, the next year as a senior. I've seen him for 4 years in a row, been at the same school for 4 years in a row. And by the time he's a senior, he's about 6'5", about 240 pounds and completely jacked. I mean, this kid is just a beast. And I'm like, dude, I bet your football coach loves you. And he's like, I don't play football. And I'm like, why not? You're like the entire front line, dude. And he's like, I don't like to hit people. I'm like, oh my gosh. He's like, seriously, this giant teddy bear. And I remember getting done with the days and I was getting ready. I was leaving the school and I get ready to go get on my plane and fly home. I got to drive to the airport. And I kind of pulled him to the side and I had a moment with him and I said, I really want to thank you for all the amazing things you've done, not only for the school, for the classmates, for everything, but for me personally. You've been a breath of fresh air. You've restored my faith in humanity and that anybody can do anything at any time given the right circumstances. And you are a huge part of why we're successful. And I thought this was the last time I'm ever going to see this kid because he's going to go to college. And gave me a big hug and we were off. And so I left, came back to the school again, year number 6. And I'm going, okay, this is getting crazy. And I'm training my leaders. And I think, well, what am I going to do without DJ Cornbread? Because he was a huge part of why we were successful. His attitude, his natural leadership, his charisma. And I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm a little bit down because I don't have my DJ Cornbread, like my sidekick for the school. And I look over and all of a sudden these two doors open up and guess who walks in? DJ Cornbread. He walks in. I scream like a little girl. I run over and give him a great big hug. All my leaders are like, why are you hugging DJ Cornbread? That's just weird. And I'm like, why not? He's an amazing human. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing here? Why are you not in college? And he's like, okay, honestly, I'm supposed to be in class right now, but I skipped. And I was like, okay, I promise not to tell anyone. So y'all have to keep that a secret. And I'm like, okay, so why are you also here? And he's like, okay, so these were my favorite days in high school. I love these days. They were the best thing we ever did. It was absolutely incredible. And I was like, okay, cool. And he goes, my little brother's a freshman. And I want to make sure that he has the same experience that I did in high school, because I had a ton of fun. I thought it was awesome. And he goes, and last, those guys right over there. And he points over to my row of leaders and he goes, 6 guys right in the front row. And he goes, those guys right there, those are my best friends in the entire world. And I would do absolutely anything for them. I just want to support them one more year. Can I please come back and lead? And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, you know what to do. Do your thing. And so I was super excited. I give my leaders a tiny little break and I'm like, all right, guys, you got 5 minutes. Let's rock and roll. And all of a sudden they start doing their thing. And I noticed that DJ Cornbread and his friends run out to the center of the basketball court, huddle up right at the center court in this tight little huddle. They got their heads in, their heads down. They're chatting to each other. And then they all start giggling and laughing. And then all of a sudden, everything stops. And at exactly the same moment, they all stand up tall, take their hand just like this and go and point to each other. And then they all walk away. And I was like, what is that? Like, seriously, what on earth is that? I have no idea. And so I didn't think too much about it. Our day starts, freshmen are in, we're having a wild time. And I noticed that every time those boys saw each other, they would be one on the floor, one up in the bleachers. They'd make eye contact and really fast, they'd just do this to each other. And from the bleachers, you got this. And they kept doing it. And I noticed that. And I was like, that's kind of strange. And then at lunchtime, things got really weird. Because at lunchtime, all of a sudden, all of these boys grabbed a group of freshmen, 15, 16 of them, and they brought them out to the basketball court and got them into these little tiny basketball huddles. And then you could tell the leader was talking to the freshmen, and they're very engaged. And all of a sudden, the leader starts talking, then they start giggling, and then the leader stands up tall and goes. And every single freshman did the exact same thing. They're all like, and at this point,
Hey, Jeff, pause for 1 second. There we go. Now we're
There we
here
go.
again. Now we're here.
Oh, sorry.
We got lost for just 1 second. Now we hear you.
Did you get this part? You got that. Okay. So I called DJ Cornbread over and I'm like, okay, dude, like, what is this? And I thought he was recruiting for a gang. And I asked him, are you in a gang? And he's like, oh, no. Okay, sorry. And he pulls out his cell phone. He gets up this video, and it's like him and those 6 guys in like a 1984 Honda Civic, like a little tiny car, right? There's 7 high school dudes in this tiny little car at the drive-thru at McDonald's. And they pull up to the kiosk and they order 1 single ice cream cone. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, seriously, DJ Cornbread, I'm so sorry, but 7 dudes, 1 ice cream cone. This cannot be good. Nothing good can happen. And he goes, don't worry, it gets better. They pull up to the window. The guy gives them $1. He gets his ice cream cone, and the driver looks at the McDonald's guy and goes, excuse me, sir, but do you believe in unicorns? And the McDonald's guy goes like, I'm sorry, what? He says, I said, do you believe in unicorns? And the McDonald's guy looks at him and goes, no. And he's like, wrong answer. Sticks it on his forehead and drives off and goes, believe, as he's driving off the out of the parking lot with an ice cream cone all over his face. And at this point, I'm like, oh my gosh, you kids have way too much time and free money. And they are just, I'm like, you guys are seriously insane. And DJ Cornbread is laughing so hard, tears streaming down his face, like gut busting, knee slapping kind of laughter. And the video ends, and I'm like, oh my gosh, obviously that had an effect on him. And he goes, oh, and he goes, it got better. Like, we were driving, we see a car full of hot girls, and he's like, got an ice cream all over his face, and he's like, hey baby, how you doing? I mean, we had so much fun. And he goes, it was that moment. He goes, and he pointed to one of his friends. He goes, we were laughing so hard in the backseat that kid over there, and he points to one of his leaders. He goes, that guy peed his pants in the backseat of the car. And oh my gosh, I was like, it got me thinking like, oh man, I remember those days. I remember those times. And he goes, this right here now is our symbol. This right here means you're my unicorn. You're my magical creature who I will do anything for because I love you and I care about you. And you are amazing. And I will do everything for you. You're my unicorn. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is the most beautiful thing ever. And then it occurred to me that not only did these boys have this amazing experience, but instead of keeping it for themselves, they didn't. They actually shared it to an entire group of students. By the end of the day, we had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of high school freshmen running around doing this to each other, giving each other love. And it was so awesome. And they shared it. They shared this amazing moment of they believe in somebody. And every time they had somebody do this, they knew that that person believed in them. And I got to say that as I think about these times specifically, how we're socially distanced, we're home, we're safe. Most of us are having minimal effect. In my life, that's how it is anyway. And I know that some people are scared. They need people. We need people now more than ever to believe in us, and that we can believe in them. And who are the people on your team? Who are the people that you believe in, that you're supporting, that you're reaching out to, that being the light in the darkness, being the slayer of dragons, being the person that says, it's okay, I appreciate who you are and what you do and the light that you bring to the world. Who are the things and what are the things that you're letting go of so that you can be pulled back like an arrow to be released out into the world when this is over? All of these things, the sense of gratitude, these are things that help us to believe in each other and put people on our teams. And we need that now more than ever. Now, as a quick note, very, very fast here, I've been at that school for I think 11 years now. And I still, when I walk on campus, I still have kids when I walk on campus that just go, hey, Sasquatch, how's it going? And that's how I walk on campus. It's absolutely amazing. These boys left a legacy. It's absolutely incredible. So believe in you guys. I believe in you guys. Believe in yourself. Believe in each other. Believe in Jake and this amazing group that he's put together and the incredibly talented people that are part of it, because everybody's got something to give. Absolutely amazing.
Well, everyone all together, here we go. I love it. That's amazing. That is incredible. Oh, that is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And seriously, Jeff, incredible, incredible message. Thank you so much. So I'm going to end with a couple other words for you that I want to share with you guys that have been on my heart. And let's see. Let me get up here. I've started this because I believe that this is not a goal that I have. This is not an idea that I have. I believe that this is a mission that I am on. It is a mission that I am on to spread the light in the world. There's so much darkness out there. There's so much pain. There's so much suffering. There's so much anxiety going on right now with so many people. And we have a choice. Are we going to add to that? Or are we going to lift them up? And I'm not saying that the whole world is rainbows and unicorns. Well, maybe it is a unicorn with Jeff, but that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that if you choose to focus on the good, you're going to find more of it. If you choose to focus on the good, you're going to find more of it. But if you're looking for all the problems, that's all you're going to find. If you're looking for what's wrong, that's all you're going to find. And sometimes the good news is as simple, focusing on the good. Sometimes the good news is as simple as, you know what? I have a solution here. I have something that I can do. Sometimes that's the good news. Sometimes the good news is right now in this moment, I am safe. I am happy. I have food. I have shelter. I have water. I have clothes. I have all those things that I need. Sometimes the good news comes from taking the little things and being grateful for those things. See, I think right now what I'm seeing is, yes, I've talked about this. There is a lot of the negativity going around, but there's also so much hope and love and inspiration. And I believe that the world is a kinder place than it was just a few short weeks ago. The appreciation has changed. The atmosphere has changed. I notice people are not complaining or arguing about the silly things that they used to complain about and argue about. And I'm sure one day we'll bring that back. We'll bring back the silly arguing and complaining. I'm sure people will bring it back. But it seems like for right now, it's something that's letting up. It's something that is letting up, and I'm not seeing as much of it. What I am asking you to do is to take this and to be a ripple effect, to be a little bit, to be a domino in this. You know, you've seen that video and that analogy about not wanting to spread the virus that's going on, not being that matchstick in the chain. Well, in this light, when it comes to positivity, we want to spread this faster than anything else that's going around right now, because something else that is contagious is positivity. Something else that's contagious is hope. Something else that is contagious is inspiration. And I want you to go out there and do something every day to make the world around you a little bit better place. That's it. Maybe it's you just send a note or send a message to a friend you haven't talked to. Maybe it's posting something. Maybe it's making a call. Maybe it's doing something for someone in your house that maybe you hadn't done for a while. Whatever that is, maybe it's just volunteering or just doing the dishes before you're asked to do it. If my wife is watching right now, she'll appreciate that one. But whatever it is, just find something you can do every single day to make the world around you a better place. Because this is not just a good thing that you can do. This is a mission that you can be on right now. And this is my mission. I'm inviting you to join me. I'm inviting you to go out and to be a beacon of light in a world where there is so much darkness. I am inviting you to go out and to share that light with everyone that you see and to make a difference in the world. And yes, there's a lot of problems in the world. There's a lot of challenges, but there's so much good if you choose to see it. Look at all the things that are going on. This past week, Disney donated thousands of ponchos that they typically have at the parks for when it rains. And they donated thousands and thousands of ponchos because these nurses are using them to protect themselves. The New England Patriots flew their airplane that usually carries football players all the way over to China because they had extra N95 masks. They flew it out there. Not the government took their plane and did it. The team said, we're going to do this. We're going to fly the plane out there. We're going to pay for it. We're going to go and do it. We're going to go and get those masks and bring it back here. Now, the cynic would say, well, big whoop, Disney makes tons of money and the New England Patriots make tons of money. So what's the big deal? I'm saying stop being a cynic. Stop looking for the problems. Stop looking for the problems and start looking for the good. And look at the humanity that is being shared. That finally we have something that is uniting us in a different way. And let's find the good in everything that is going on and in every single day. Go out there and do something positive. Do something positive in the world every single day. And maybe it's for you. Maybe because you're sharing something positive, maybe that helps you feel good. Maybe that helps you get through this. But I can tell you what, yes, there's problems. But if you choose to focus on the good, you're going to find so much more of it. What's wrong is always available, and so is what's right. I choose to focus on the good. I hope you will too. I also hope that we'll see you here next week. Please share focusonthegood.com. I want this to become it's a funny word to use, but I want this to become a viral movement where people are sharing this and sharing the gratitude and sharing this concept of focusing on the good and seeing the good. And I want to spread this all over the place. I want this to be a ripple effect, and please join our team of positivity. So thank you so much, everyone. Before we go, I want to see everyone's faces here, and just want to say, give you all a round of applause. Give yourselves a round of applause for showing up here live. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, and I will see you guys next week. Keep on spreading the positivity, and maybe we should do one of these for the end. There we go. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.